Hey, 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 hey. All right, I gotta help people out, man. Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ, man. Let me tell you something. So I've been really just examining like the interwebs. I always like to look through and see what's going on in the back end of reality. Because it's time for some deep shit. And one of the things I kind of realize is like I've been experimenting just trolling people with just things that are just outlandish. Outlandishly like semi true. Like for example, I utilized this thing where I said anybody between the height of 5'6" to 5'10" is destined for greatness, and anybody that's taller than that is going to pretty much just crash out because tall people just they're not tall people. They're dumb people. I hate to say it, but tall people are just not very smart people because there's no societal pressure for them to be better than what they are. They're just tall. That's it. Give me 1 second. All right, sorry for that. I had to take a little brief moment to get my sweatshirt. You know, it'd be cold out here sometimes. Cold out here for a lowly general. So anyway, what I'm realizing is a lot of people they can't do 1+1. 1+1 is very difficult for a lot of people to solve. And when I say 1+1, I mean just the basics of reality and manhood and just principles. Most people don't operate on principles. Most people are very wish-washy, and they kind of look for the crowd to see what makes sense, at least as far as like what society tells them is good, and then that's when they make a move. Most people don't think for themselves, and because they don't think for themselves, they have to look at society as their cues for what to do. And here's the thing with society. Don't ever listen to the masses. The masses don't really know what they're doing. The masses kind of act on impulse and whatever is trendy at that moment. And if you constantly do that, you're going to be chasing a rabbit that you'll never catch. And that rabbit's going to probably run you off a cliff and you'll probably fall to your demise because rabbits are not the brightest creatures. So what you need to do is start thinking for yourself and start chasing bigger game. See, here's the thing when you chase bigger game. When you chase bigger game, it forces you to be more calculated and to think a lot more and have foresight about what you're going to do in the future instead of just going around chasing something you can't catch. See, like, you know what made humans change their biological, like, evolutionary chain? Is when they got the ability to start hunting big game. When they started to realize, hold up, we can predict time. This animal can't run for a very long time. And because this animal can't run for long, if we just slowly keep a pace and chase on it and keep it in our fucking view, eventually we'll catch that animal. And once we catch that animal, we'll then be able to eat it. And that big animal, instead of us having to go outside and chase these little rabbits that barely keep anybody fed, we'll have food and meat for days. Which means now we'll be filled, we'll be able to exchange information amongst each other, and we'll be able to develop a better culture. The people will be happier, everybody will function a lot better because they won't be in starvation mode, and we'll be able to prosper as a community. And that's what we have lost in today's society. Nobody chases big game anymore. Everybody just chasing the little rabbit. Everybody's chasing the next dopamine hit of whatever social media is telling them to do. That's why when you look, every couple of days, there's a new TikTok challenge. Guess what? We got a new TikTok challenge. We do the hippie dance. We do some stupid dance. Or if you look at YouTube, there's some stupid thing like, Mama, I raised a gangster. Like, you just watch these guys and gals, and they do the same stupid, trendy stuff. And they get a bunch of views. Yeah, they get a bunch of views. And then what do they do with it? Nothing. Because there was no foresight. They were just chasing the trend. And that's the problem, man. Once you start chasing the trend, you're not going to go anywhere in life. Because by the time you get to the trend, you missed the wave already. And see, here's the thing. When you stick to your own principles and you stick to your own game plan, eventually all waves eventually catch up. And that way, you're already paddling. See, a good analogy would be surfing. What makes a good surfer is not their ability to keep their balance and stay on the board. No. What makes a great surfer is the ability to see the wave coming before anybody else sees it and to be able to catch it. See, you can't surf if you can't catch the wave. That's some real deep logic, man. If you don't have the ability to actually see and have foresight of what's coming before it gets to you, you're always going to be just getting hit by the wave. Or you might catch the wave at the lowest point when it's starting to wide out and there's not much momentum carrying it. But guess what? If you know how to swim, if you know how to read the trends, okay, that wave went pretty big. So if I can kind of approximate within 10 to 20 feet, I'll then be able to catch this next wave. And then that wave will be the big one that I can catch that will take me all the way and let me surf for a long time. And that's what you notice. The surfers that are like on the board for like 10, 20 seconds surfing that wave out, they were way out there paddling, doing all that hard work to get out to that open area where they saw the wave was about to crash and hit. And they were there long before anybody else was there. Everybody else is just still like, oh man, let me catch this wave that this person's already on. And what happens? They get swallowed by the water. And that's what happens to most people. They get swallowed by the water. So if you don't want to get swallowed by the water, guess what? You need to start being able to think and project. And you know how you do that? You got to learn thyself. You have to know where you are relative to everything else around you. If you don't know where everything is else around you, you're not going to be able to find the wave. And if you can't find the wave, you're never going to get any momentum and go anywhere in life. You're just going to keep getting piled over on by the wave. And you see this so often, and I see this so many trends. There's the OnlyFans trend, where all these guys are becoming OnlyFans managers. And then you know what's going to happen? All these guys are going to start to get on it, adopt it, and then eventually it's going to crash out. This is not sustainable. Same thing with the tech bros. If you just started to get into tech right now, I feel bad for you because chances are you're not going to find a very good paying job that you want to get. Those days of the $140,000 junior developer, gone. Gone. They don't need you anymore. They got ChatGPT. Why would I get you when I can have one or two senior developers and they just run anything using ChatGPT? Most of you guys are Googling anything anyway. So you guys start looking at things that are long lasting and that will be there for a long time. And the only way to do that is think and project. Stop looking at yourself for next Friday. Stop looking at yourself for next Tuesday. Look at yourself for 5, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 years in the future. When you look at yourself in that type of realm, it's impossible to lose because you're planning for so long ahead and you're building for so much momentum, you're building so much power base that by the time that your time comes, you're already ready to handle it and you already have a funnel and things built to be able to harness that energy and resources when it comes your way. Because let me tell you something, everybody can go viral on the YouTube machine. Everybody can go viral. At some point, if you keep putting up information online, eventually you are going to go viral. It's like almost inevitable as it's going to happen. It's just a matter of just constantly keep doing it. But the thing is, are you built to be ready when it eventually does go viral? Are you ready for all the energy and power that's going to come your way and attention that comes your way when it gets there to you? Because it happens quick. Like they always say, you're 5 seconds of fame. What are you going to do with those 5 seconds? Can you extend those 5 seconds of fame to 2 minutes? Can you extend it to an hour? Can you extend it to a day? Can you extend it to 3 or 4 days? And that's one thing I really like Charleston White about. I really love about Charleston White. Charleston White got really famous off the YouTube thing and off of just social media. And you know what he did? He had a plan when he got there. He was already working like 4 or 5 years in advance, long before he became popular. He was on Facebook just putting videos up, getting a couple likes here and there. People taking his content, posting it. And eventually, when reality caught up to him and he finally got a chance to get his bag, he took it and ran with it. And he kept putting out volume. He had infrastructure created. So once that attention came to him, he had a platform and ways to drive that attention to projects and to missions that were worthwhile. Like the man's he's a community activist. He works with the kids. He talks a lot of crazy, reckless stuff, but he works with kids. He works with people. And that's the same thing I look at it like. I'm just like, okay, I'm a regular dude. I'm having fun on social media, just bullshitting around, playing with y'all. But in reality, I'm a bad motherfucker. I do a lot of real shit in life. And when the time finally comes where things blow up for me, and the same thing's gonna happen for you, I have infrastructure. I have things to promote. I have things ready in the wait. So as soon as I get the artillery and it comes to my doorstep, I'm right there for you. I got the credentials. I got everything I need to be able to go and fly my plane off. And that's what you gotta start thinking about your life. If you don't want to be dumb, stop following other people. Think for yourself. Be your own man. Learn the principles and foundations of life. And that way, when you finally get your chance to get your 5 minutes of fame, because you've been building for it your whole life, because chances are, very few people actually ever try to actually create anything that's worth the damn, and then even fewer people actually stick with it. And so eventually, if you're one of those few people that stick with it consistently, you keep doing it and doing it and doing it and doing it and doing it, at some point in time, you're gonna get your comeuppance. Now, what you do with those resources is up to you, because trust me, the bag don't last forever. It comes in seasons, it comes in waves and flows. So when you do get it, make sure you know how to use it. Don't just be out here wasting it. And I hate to see that, but that's what most people do. A lot of people got a lot of money during the pandemic, during those unemployment. What do? They wasted the money and they were in worse shape. Instead of putting themselves in a better position when they got that new money. So that's the message for today. Stop being a square. Stop being in the same position. That's the problem with so many people. So many people are just squares. Stop being a square in life. Learn how to be progressive. You know why I say square? Most of you guys who don't know what a square is, because most of you guys are square. A square, if you make it with your hands, Let's see, what does a square look like? I'm trying to do it with my hands. Anyway, here, I'll show you a square. Here we go. Here's a square. Here's a square. So what is a square? It's 4 corners, right? So this is you at part 1. This is you at part 2. This is you at part 3. This is you at part 4. And this is you back where you started from. You don't want to be there back where you started from. The goal is to work in a linear fashion. So you're progressing always. So it's nothing but sky high. Now you don't want to be in a downward spiral, because that means you're just doing bad choices over and over again. But if you're making positive choices, eventually you're going to have a linear line that goes up, 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 and you never know how far it goes. And here's the thing about life. Life works exponentially. So you'll start off in a linear thing, and it'll be a boost. New plateau, boost. New plateau, boost. New plateau, boost. But the worst thing you can ever be is a square. You don't want to end up in the same spot over and over again, because that's just a sad existence. But anyway, hopefully that helps you people, man. Stop being square. Learn how to be progressive.